matchup of top lightweight contenders will go down at UFC 274 on the same night the division's title is on the line. Former Bellator champion Michael Chandler and former interim UFC champ Tony Ferguson have verbally agreed to fight at the May 7 event, which takes place at Footprint Center in Phoenix, with the main card that airs on pay-per-view following prelims likely to air on ESPN and stream on ESPN+. Contracts for the marquee pairing have not been issued, but Chandler and Ferguson have agreed to fight. Multiple people who spoke on the condition of anonymity verified to MMA Junkie following an initial report from Sports Illustrated. Chandler, who is 35, is number 9 in the latest USA Today Sports MMA Junkie lightweight rankings. The Sanford MMA product is coming off back-to-back losses against Justin Gaethje in MMA Junkie's Fight of the Year at UFC 268 in November, and Charles Oliveira in a vacant title bout at UFC 262 in May. Number 8 ranked Ferguson, meanwhile, has dropped his past 3 fights against Beneil Dariush, Oliveira, and Gaethje. Before the string of defeats, the 38-year-old had put together 13 consecutive victories at 155 pounds. Coming off a Fight of the Year barn burner against Justin Gaethje at UFC 268 this past November, Chandler thinks he'll be a step ahead of Ferguson no matter where the fight goes.
I think my biggest advantage, I think I'm just basic and I'm going to keep a high pace, which we know Tony can keep a high pace, but I think I'm just going to be a little bit more sharp, a little bit more, I don't know. I think my power is going to be a lot for him. I think I'm going to have a speed advantage and an athleticism advantage. I think I'm good in all the areas that Tony is good. I think he's got very slick jiu-jitsu. I have yet to ever be caught in a submission, so I don't see Tony catching me in anything like that. But he is very dangerous on the ground, and I think his biggest attribute, his biggest strength, and the thing that people fear the most is he's just got a little bit of a screw loose, and that's what excites everybody about these matchups. You know, you never know what you're going to get whenever Tony steps into the octagon, whether he's reaching down, throwing imaginary sand in your face, or he's doing spinning elbows, spinning kicks and knees and all kinds of stuff. He's just unpredictable. So you got to expect the unexpected when you're fighting Tony Ferguson. So he's a hard guy to prepare for. Therefore, it's going to be a very interesting training camp. Try to keep it light, have a little bit of fun, and show up on fight night and hopefully get a finish.
The matchup had yet to be reported publicly, but when Chandler answered a fan question on Twitter about his desire to fight Conor McGregor, it prompted Ferguson to put his cards on the table and question whether the former Bellator champ wants to fight. Ferguson wrote, "There's my bitch, Michael Chandler, the brass. Dana White at UFC relayed your message saying you would be ready for me in April or June. Looks like you're trying to delay that ass whooping. I owe ya for cutting in line, kid. It's wrestling season, motherfucker. Man up, champ." Ferguson, 37, is currently in a 3-fight losing skid after going on a 12-fight winning streak. He's dropped bouts to Justin Gaethje, Charles Oliveira, and Beneil Dariush. Chandler, who is now 35, has lost back-to-back bouts to Gaethje and Oliveira after winning his UFC debut versus Dan Hooker in January 2021. The Gaethje contest was the fight of the year for most, while the Oliveira bout was for the vacant UFC lightweight belt. The 3-time Bellator lightweight champion responded to Ferguson's claim and issued a stern warning. Chandler responded, "Oh Tony, there's only a handful of guys in this game I truly respect. You're one of them, only because of your tenure, not your stature or your current presence in the division. I'll beat you from bell to bell. Pray for a merciful ref. We shall see if this fight happens." Daniel Cormier recently expressed his opinion on the UFC targeting a potential matchup between Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. Cormier, in a recent episode of ESPN's MMA's DC and RC show, gave his take on the rumored fight and how it could influence the lightweight division in the future.
But also, Ryan, I feel like this is the right type of matchup because when you get Oliveira, you get Gaethje back-to-back. These are championship-level fighters. Now, understand that Chandler has championship aspirations, but after a couple losses, you got to take a step back. And the Tony Ferguson today, at 37 years old, on the losing streak as he is not those guys anymore. So with a big performance, it could put him back right on path to where he wants to go.
What do you think of this incredible matchup? Is it the right fight to make? Who do you think will win and how? Let us know your prediction in the comment section. Conor McGregor fires back at Cejudo. Conor McGregor has fired back at Henry Cejudo after the former flyweight and bantamweight champion took a shot at the Irishman in one of his recent tweets. McGregor and Cejudo have both put themselves in the UFC history books as simultaneous 2-division champions throughout their storied careers. The Notorious took to social media to fire the first shot at Cejudo. Cejudo, which of course got a response. While speaking to the media in the aftermath of the first UFC event of the year, Dana White once again dismissed the idea of Cejudo fighting for the UFC featherweight title. Responding to White, Triple C expressed his frustration regarding the UFC president's comments, while referencing the former featherweight and lightweight UFC champion. Taking to Twitter, McGregor has now mocked Cejudo. McGregor wrote, "Henry Cejudo is a little fart." But Cejudo responded, "What do you know about farting? You always run out of gas." Cejudo, a former flyweight and bantamweight champion, has found himself in the news lately as he's been going back and forth with UFC president Dana White. After Max Holloway was forced to withdraw from his targeted trilogy fight with featherweight champ Alexander Volkanovski, Cejudo raised his hands while seeking to become the first 3-division champion in UFC history. In Cejudo's initial tweet, he took shots at TJ Dillashaw and Dominic Cruz as well. The tweet referenced McGregor's issues outside the UFC, which saw him hit an elderly man at a bar a few years ago. "Dana, I needed a break. Honestly, it was getting boring beating up TJ Dillashaw in under a minute and Dominic Snooze in 2. I got married, I had a kid, and I'm now rejuvenated. I want to be 4C. If I beat up an old guy at a bar and learn how to river dance, will you give me a shot?" After beating Dominic Cruz in 2020, Henry Cejudo announced his retirement from fighting. Since then, he has yet to step foot inside the octagon. Shortly afterwards, the UFC vacated the bantamweight title once held by Triple C. But that's not all. The former bantamweight champion and the Notorious kept putting out tweets for each other. Cejudo criticized McGregor for having his hands down during a video clip of him hitting the pads for the first time since breaking his leg against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. Triple C also included in his tweet a subtle dig at McGregor's cornerman, whom he labeled a yes man. Cejudo wrote, "Your hands are down and your distance is off. Stay away from them yes men. Just a tip from the GOAT." Cejudo, who now serves as a coach for the likes of John Jones and Chris Cyborg, posted. McGregor couldn't resist the bait, firing back, calling Cejudo a fat midget novice in a since-deleted tweet that included footage of the messenger holding pads for Cristiane Justino. Conor responded, "The audacity of this little fat midget novice to be holding a kick pad for Chris Cyborg, looking at the state of him, oh my god, fat midget novice. Henry Cejudo, you are a little fat midget novice." What do you think of these two beefing each other on social media? Do you think there would ever be a fight between them? Who do you think would win? Let us know in the comments section what you think of this.